everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, the autumn show at the Gen X problem or drinking problem. I don't know what I wrote there. I got that all wrong. We're a show. We haven't done it in a while. Welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm Laura Lavoie. That's Bill.
This one's going to be really green, except it should be orange and yellow and red.
Well, we've been off for several weeks.
Yeah.
So how are you, Bill? Haven't seen you in quite some time.
I can't complain. You know, glad to be back. There, I guess I missed the show. Missed hanging out. Missed drinking with you. So there you go.
I missed all those things as well. I missed drinking, but it's mostly because I didn't for a while.
You missed drinking the most of all the things.
No, I kid. No, but yes, we were off for a few weeks because I had some surgeries. Well, just one surgery, but it's unpleasant. But I'm fighting my way back to full health. So
yeah, I always wonder when people are going to have multiple surgeries, like when they know that they're they've got like a tough road ahead and they're going to be open a few times. Why don't we just put a zipper in there? Like it seems aggravating to like keep cutting you open. Like just put a zipper.
I mean that's some like cartoon stuff, right? Like
I guess, but I mean.
I'm pretty sure you can't just put a zipper on a person.
I feel like with all the technological advances we made, you could. I think it'd be more like a zip lock. It would be. I don't mean a metal zipper or anything. I mean,
exactly, a little bit of Velcro.
Snap.
So I was saying the other day that it was astounding to me that they could just literally cut open a human being and then put them back together and like they're still alive.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. And then I found out that one of the things they use, because I had staples and then they take off the staples and then they put on these other things that are little like tape strips for like a couple of weeks. And Matt asked me if it was like the little tape strips you use to put up pictures and things, like the 3M sticky strips. And I said, oh, no, it's nothing like that. And then I found out that the strips were actually made by 3M.
Yeah, they're made by 3M, but you're not like butterfly sutures, right? Like the little...
No.
No?
No, well, it's called steri strips. They're like butterfly sutures.
Yeah. My mom used to work, my mom was a nurse, and I don't know. She got me a pile of them once. Like I used to keep some in my first aid kit, and they're actually better than Band-Aids, really, for some things,
Because they actually like put, stick it together.
Yeah, because they're like stitches, like that. Like the only thing that works as good as those is super glue, really. Like if you got a quick mend, you got to do on yourself.
Yeah, super glue will fix you right up. That's for sure.
It was invented to be a battlefield suture,
Sure.
And then which is why it bonds skin instantly. Like why one simply doesn't mess around with super glue.
Right.
But anyway.
Well, they did not glue me, and yes, I was also aside from the amazement that you could cut a person open and put them back together, is that I also found staples seem to be a thing you should put in a person. Mm-hmm. Like chunk, chunk, chunk. Like now but it worked.
Did they itch? That was the worst thing about them?
Oh, God, yes. They itched. Oh, yes, they itched.
You just wanted to claw them out of it.
I was ready to remove them. I didn't, obviously, because that would be terrible.
Like, bring me the needle nose pliers. I'm taking these out.
God. All right, but enough of that. Yeah. Yes, but I am on the mend, so that's a good thing.
Very good.
So now we're drinking. Now we're on to drinking.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, what do you have there?
So earlier before the show, I started with one of these, which I might have. I don't know. I might have another. Maybe I don't. The old
classic claw hammer.
Oktoberfest from the Highland Brewery. But then again, I might pivot to something more squashy. But right now I just finished up this one. the Founders Oktoberfest, which I like the can art for. It's got a cute little German town there. And
Yes.
I'm marking to Laura before the show started. Surprisingly, it's not a blue and white can, which most Oktoberfests or fest beers or Marzens at this time of the year are. So interesting that they went with orange and which is usually what they reserve for pumpkin beers, which I'm torn. And our people at home can vote. Would you rather me do the King Dons from Catawba Pumpkin Ale or the Good Gourd from
Good Gourd, man.
from Cigar City in Tampa? I got those two on deck also.
All right, so folks, let us know in the comments, viewer. Let us know what you think. Good Gourd or King Dons?
Yeah, I'm about to crack one open, so holler.
Yes, let us know.
And what are you drinking?
Just pick one. Oh, I've got. So I sent Matt out the other day and said, go buy all the Oktoberfests, please. And he did. And he came back with a whole bunch of Oktoberfests. We have more in the fridge, but I only selected 2 for this fine event. This one is actually, it's just called Fest Beer. And it's got, as you can see, this dark and terrifying can art.
Which it's a Burial.
Yep, it's Burial. It's a collaboration between Burial Brewing and Creature Comforts, which is out of Athens, Georgia.
Yeah.
So it's very tasty. A fest beer, the difference between a fest beer and an Oktoberfest is Oktoberfests are Marzens, and they tend to be slightly higher gravity, not a ton, but higher. And so in Munich, when they started doing, like when a lot of tourists from outside of Germany started coming to Oktoberfest, and they would get too drunk on Oktoberfest beers, Munich was like, no, we're going to have to do something about this. So they started brewing fest beer, which are all lower alcohol beers for the tourists. So they usually taste a lot lower.
Do they? Yeah. So what if you go and you're like, no, seriously, dog, I can handle my beer. Like,
I don't know what happens. Because that's what when you get like the lady carrying the 17 steins of beer, it's fest beer. That's what she's carrying. Okay.
What about a boot? Can I get a boot of it?
I bet you could.
This one, the Oktoberfest, by the way, was 6%. I was curious after you said that about the thing. And the Highland is 5%. And the Good Gourd, which we have 1 vote for.
Yes.
Is what is it? Well, come on, it's got to say on here somewhere, right?
It definitely is required by law.
8. It's an imperial, actually.
Oh dear Lord, that's big. It's Good Gourd.
Yeah, they aren't playing around. The Catawba, if I was to drink that one, probably be more normal. It's 5.5. That's basically a lager there with some spiciness to it, is what that is.
Right. All of mine. So yes, after this, I've got speaking of blue, I've got the Great Lakes Oktoberfest.
Huh.
So we've got a few beers from a certain area of the country, right?
What area would that be?
So yes. But yes, I was looking at, so the Creature Comforts and Burial Fest beer is not low in alcohol. And I'm pretty sure that when you go to Munich and you get it, it's like 3%. Like, it's a really watered down beer. But this is actually almost 6%. So.
They just pour Bud Light in a glass and say, here you go.
Yeah. They're like, here you go. This is Fest beer.
And you're like, wait, what? This is terrible.
That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted at all. All right. So that's some beers. We got some Oktoberfest and the reason we're drinking Oktoberfest and pumpkin beers is because we have declared it. Well, we've not actually, the earth has declared it autumn.
Yeah.
We passed the autumn equinox just a few days ago.
We did that. And as soon as it happened, the things aligned and the weather decided it was indeed autumn. Like,
it was immediate. Like it was.
Next morning was like, holy crap, it's cold out. Yeah. And
Which I can't complain about.
No, I'm here for it. Like, yeah, sign me up. I'm good. So I'm doing the Good Gourd. That was the only vote I saw.
Good Gourd. It is still the only vote that we have. So
I'm like, well, if late votes roll in, I've already declared a winner. So I guess
Well, too bad. If anybody else wants to vote, it's too late.
I'll have to concede because Fox is calling it early for.
And that's out of Cigar City?
What? 8.8?
I'm genuinely curious what that tastes like. It's dark.
It's a good mix of, I've told you in the past about my criteria on pumpkin beers. I want them to be an equal mix of pumpkin-y and pumpkin spicy. And this one does a good job of that. It actually does a good job. I want to say it leads with some cinnamon, maybe some cinnamon there at the front. It's kind of sweet, which the color should tell you, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
It's pretty good. It's not the best one I had. I had the best one I've had so far this year. Elysian Great Pumpkin. I had a week or so ago, and that was a really good pumpkin beer. And I have seen that at, and I'm telling this to Laura, not our friends in the Midwest, because this won't matter to you. But I've seen it at Ingles in the make your own 6-pack section. Although I'm sure you can. I think Elysian's got a mix, like a fall mix thing that's got a bunch of different pumpkins and some probably Oktoberfest and some other crap like that, porters
right
mixed in. Yeah, because Elysian has more than one pumpkin beer this year.
Oh,
kind of like how what's the one? There's one out of New York. What's it called? Southern Tier.
Yeah, Southern Tier usually has several Halloween themed beers.
Yeah, so it's like that. Like they just kind of went all in on the fall beers. And I had both. I had 2 of the pumpkin beers from Elysian. Both of them were good, but I liked the Great Pumpkin better than the whatever the other one was.
Nice.
Call now.
That's a good endorsement. We shall look that up. All right, so we are talking about autumn, and I want to preface your monologue by saying we did an autumn episode in our first year back in 2020. And we're trying not to be totally repeating ourselves, but obviously there are some levels of like autumn is just awesome. So we're going to probably say a few of the same things. But so we wanted to revisit the whole topic again. And so Bill, why don't you tell us why autumn is so awesome?
It's just the best season. I don't know why it's the best season. I mean, it's a lot of things, and I don't want to go too deep into a lot of it because I went back and rewatched that episode to make sure I didn't repeat myself today, which is a thing I have a bad habit of doing sometimes when I get on a thing. So I'm just like trying to avoid it. But I mean, I don't know. There's just something about that cold nip in the air. It's cold. It's cool, but it's not too cold. It's like perfect. I'll say I'm a convertible driver, and it's probably the best time of year for driving around in a convertible. Because in the summertime, if you try to drive around the convertible, you're A, you're hot, and B, you're getting sunburnt. I'm actually a little pink right now because I've been driving around a lot with the convertible top down. But yeah, it gets, obviously like the days get shorter, so that means less sun out. I'm a person who prefers not to be burnt by the yellow face of the sun because I don't have the fortitude for it. My ancestry doesn't lend itself to it.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, so I don't know. So there's that whole thing, and then the coolness also. And I mentioned this 2 years ago, I realized, but fashion, like it's easier to be fashionable in the fall when the weather's nice and pleasant. You get to wear your fineries and not immediately sweat yourself to death in them. And
right.
I like that, and I like all the fall holidays, and I like all the fall things, and it's just my favorite season. So it's pleasant. And the flavors, and that's the other thing. So the flavors, good flavors in the fall. So yeah, I mean, so that's the long and short of it. But you wake up that one. I don't know. There's something about it that first, like the other day when we all went outside and it was that cold snap. There's something about walking outside when there's that cold snap, and you immediately feel it. and there's it changes the smell in the air and everything, and you're like, wow, yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, it's time for football and bonfires and all that kind of thing, so you're just like, you're excited.
Exactly. Yeah, we've had all our windows open. It's been,
Yeah,
breezy.
turn the air off, and you realize that the humidity is going to go down.
Right.
Live down here, I don't know. I think anywhere anymore, unless you live in the desert, anywhere is pretty humid. I don't
True.
know. I don't know. It's any better in the Midwest.
No, it's not. It's very humid in the Midwest in the summer. Very humid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like sleeping when it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the summer, we'll turn the air conditioning down, low enough that it's cool. Because I still want to be under blankets, whether it's hot out or not. I want to be under a blanket. But if it's so hot out that you can't, you're like, this is terrible.
Oh yeah,
that's so.
Yeah, and and I think I've already mentioned this once before, but my wife likes comforters, and I'm more of a quilt person. And in the summertime, a comforter is unbearable almost to me. Like, you can't. They're too hot. Like, you're under it for 2 minutes, and you're immediately like, I'm burning up. Just, oh God, can we just put the quilt on the bed?
Right. Right. Well, we, because I'm sleeping downstairs right now because I couldn't navigate the stairs. Yeah. And so I've got the guest bed to myself. And that, it got cold the other day, and I had just like a light blanket on the bed. And I'm like, no, I'm going to need the big one. I need the big blanket. It's time for the big blanket. But there's definitely a difference of having like air conditioning and being cool enough to sleep versus just like being cool out at night and being cool enough to sleep. But it just feels different. You feel cozier in the blanket.
Yep. Yeah. There's something about it's funny to me. In the summertime, I think I turned the air down to where it's what would be uncomfortable in the wintertime in the house. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
There's something about the heat when you turn the heat on versus the heat. And I guess it's probably a humidity thing. I don't know what it is, but there's something different about running the heat versus it just being hot. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cozy in the wintertime or the fall when you are trying to be warm versus the heat that you can't control in the summertime.
Exactly. So exactly. No, it's just better all the way around. So we're going to get into some of the specifics here in a few minutes, and not even a few minutes, in like a minute. But in the meantime, I promised that I was going to promote somebody's projects.
Okay.
Which is basically what we do. Nobody pays us for ad sponsorship or anything. So.
Well, I mean, ideally they will at some point in the future, but
we did make 20 cents.
Right. We did cash in that one time.
Yeah, so we'll see if anybody else wants to send us. The price is going up, man.
What did you do with your 10 cents?
I mean, if everybody sends us 10 cents.
I bought a Lamborghini with mine.
I don't even know. I think I threw it in a drawer.
I mean, it was a digital picture of a Lamborghini.
That's fair.
I downloaded.
It wasn't even an NFT. You can't even get an NFT for that.
No, it was just a GIF.
All right.
The doors went up though, in the GIF.
Good. Nice, because it was slightly animated in 8-bit graphics. Fantastic. The cat is being fed next to me. She was brought to her food. All right. So anyway, my friend Dan Pesta was saying on the Facebooks that he has some upcoming acting projects. Actually, I say upcoming. Some of them are already out. So, and I thought I would promote a few of them.
Okay.
So, people should check out. There's a fan film version of The Crow that apparently people are absolutely loving. And it's out on YouTube. You can watch it, and he's in it. And I hear it's very good. I have not watched it myself. But check it out if you like The Crow, if you like Detroit, if you like gritty, gothy things, check that out.
Okay.
And then coming up on Prime will be a movie called Saturnalia that seems like it has some supernatural bent to it. So,
is it like a folk horror?
It seemed like it was, I don't know. I watched the trailer. It wasn't quite folk horror. It had more of like a psychological horror comedy thing
Okay.
going on.
Well, it sounds interesting. I mean, and I'm only basing this on the fact that I liked Midsummer.
Yes, right. So you name a movie Saturnalia and you're like, I'm in.
I'm down. Yes. Show me that.
And then I did watch the other day, I watched Dinner in America, which is streaming on Hulu. It's a movie, and it was described as Heathers for punks.
Huh.
And that wasn't an inaccurate description.
Okay. Well, having liked Heathers, as I recall, haven't seen it in a long time, but I liked it at the time.
And you like punk?
Yeah, and liking punk, I feel like that might be up my alley. I'll check it out.
Yeah, check that out. It's on Hulu. And then coming soon, a feature film called Chasing the Ghost, which all I've read is the description because that's all there is, but it sounds terrifying.
Oh.
So I may not watch it. But
is it an actual ghost then? It's not like a metaphor. The ghost isn't a metaphor.
It is still a metaphor, but it still sounds terrifying. Like it's something about an anesthesiologist that goes crazy.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah.
And I'm probably not categorizing any of these movies well. And if Dan watches this episode, he's going to be like, what the fuck were you talking about? You just made it worse.
Come in and clarify for us,
Yeah, I mean, come on into comments. But I also stuck that IMDb up there. But of course, you can Google his name and you can find it. But you can find everything that Dan's been doing. He's also been in an Eminem video. So I can't remember which one, but he was in it. Well, so cool. Anyway, check out Dan Pesta and some of his projects.
Dan Pesta sounds like Dan Pasta, kind of, or Pesto. Maybe he he wasn't in the one about Mom's Spaghetti, was he?
He was not. He was not. But I'm pretty sure his Instagram is It's Pesto Party. So he leans into it. So.
You have to. You'd have to, honestly. Let's be clear. That's I mean.
I mean, you do, but he's a cool guy, and I've known him for a really long time, so you should check out some of his movies.
Well, I'm gonna watch Saturnalia anyway. Like that just sounds like something I'll be down with.
I'll remind you. I'll see. I don't know when it's coming out, so I'll let you know. It is upcoming.
Upcoming Saturnalia, but I can watch what was the one you said you saw already on
Dinner in America?
Dinner in America. And what was the dinner? Was it pesto or pasta?
There were several dinners in the. It was
pasta with pesto.
It was sometimes. It might have been actually.
Okay.
It may have been, but yeah, it was actually a pretty. It was a pretty decent movie. I did not hate it, so that's my ringing endorsement.
Very good. Well,
it's a movie I watched.
We should check it out.
You should
check all those things out. We try to support. We try to support our friends here. That's mostly what we do, since we're not getting paid to advertise for anything yet.
Right, which also means if you have something to promote, let us know and we will promote it.
About it, and we'll say something.
That we will. All right, let's talk more about fall.
Let's do it.
I made a big list of things, just the awesome things about fall.
Yeah.
So I think we're just going to go down that list and we're going to talk about it.
Let's do that.
Right. The first thing, which you already alluded to, was fashion. But one of the best things about fall is scarves, sweaters. Well, four of the best things about fall: scarves, sweaters, gloves, and hats.
Okay. I probably only wear a sweater in the fall. Scarves and hats are that's full on winter for me. I'm a very hot natured person. Like it doesn't take much to warm me up. So I gotta be freezing cold to put a hat or a scarf on. But I will wear a sweater in the fall. Sweaters are like fancy T-shirts that you get. Like I remember back when I used to work in a formal setting, and I loved fall because then I would start coming in just a sweater, like maybe a T-shirt under it, but like a sweater, and people don't bellyache about it, like that you're just wearing a sweater and no shirt or whatever. I didn't have to wear a collared shirt or a tie. I just come in with a sweater, and nobody said shit about it. They thought I looked good enough.
Right.
I loved that, and if you have corduroy pants, if you're into those sorts of things, if you like making noise when you walk down the hall, it's a good time to wear those too.
I have not had corduroys in years, and every year I threaten to get some because I miss having corduroys.
Because you miss going zoop, zoop, zoop.
Zoop, zoop, zoop. The last pair of corduroys I ever had, I got for Christmas. And I was wearing them when I was in a car accident. And so they had to cut them because I had hurt my leg and they had to cut them, and I was so heartbroken. I was only 19,
No,
but I was so I was so heartbroken.
Wow.
And I've never had I'm 47. I've never had anything else corduroy since.
Wow. I mean, I haven't had any in about 10 years at least. I don't own a pair now. I just thought about it when we started talking about this, and I was like, wow, if I had corduroys, fall would be the time to wear them. But I don't own any now. And probably won't buy any this year, but if you did want to wear them, turtlenecks too. Those are also that's a good time to wear a turtleneck. If you have one and you like to wear them, or cowl necks if you ladies have the cowl neck. So those are actually
I like cowl necks.
Slightly better than a turtleneck because they're not as choky.
Yes,
right?
That's why I like cowl necks.
It's like a scarf built into the sweater.
Exactly.
But not quite as like because the turtlenecks make you feel like Darth Vader is like mad at you.
You know what I do love? I'm with you on gloves, and that is partially a Southern thing, right? Because if you have in Michigan, it's actually cold enough sometimes in the fall where you're going to want to have hats and scarves and mittens.
Right.
But what I have are a pair of, they were actually made for me by somebody in the tiny house community. They're like upcycled or recycled sweaters, but they're fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
So they don't even have fingers. They just, it just comes to about here, and then it's got the little thumb hole. And it's nice for when it's cool out, but not cold, the kind of cool where you want to put your hands in a pocket.
Sure.
But if you're holding a beer or something and you can't put your hands in a pocket.
Likewise, a long sweater that's got the one hole for the thumb. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen those? The
I love those.
Goes down over the top of that's all you really need down here for that, for that kind of weather. Because some of it becomes superfluous. And I used to, I remember in the fall, I used to come into work, and there would be this lady I worked with who was like I don't know, she was like 5 years past retirement, but she was still working because, I don't know, she thought she needed the money or something. And I'd come in and she'd be like, "Oh, you didn't wear a coat today, And I'm like, I mean, I park a block away. Like, I'm not going to freeze to death between the car and the building.
Right.
Right. I'm sorry. Like, I'll wear a coat when it's like below 30. Other than that, I don't really care.
Right. Although I do have, I have several types of jackets. Like I have a hoodie, like a regular, fairly lightweight hoodie. And we're getting to that territory now. Like if I go out at night, I'm going to want that hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got a heavier hoodie that's like fleecy. And that's for like between fall and winter when it starts getting colder. And then I have an overcoat that I wear over the fleecy hoodie for like the winter when it's really freaking cold.
Yeah.
So you gotta have layers of options.
Sure. Yeah. I'm like a sweater, maybe sweater that you can shed if you get hot later in the day, or maybe if you're feeling formal, maybe wear a sport coat now and not like, like you can wear a sport coat comfortably. That's what I mean when I say fashion. Like I now wear a sport coat and not feel like, oh my God, I'm dying here wearing this damn sport coat. Right. So you don't want to do that. That's what I like about the fall. That one of the many things, but I buy a lot of semi-formal clothing, and then I don't have anywhere to wear it. And I'm also, I live in the South, so it's always too hot for it. So when it gets nice enough to be able to go out in a sport coat or something like that, I'm like, oh wow, this is nice. So yeah, anyway. I'm all for it. All right, the next three on my list, well, several of them on my list, but the next three kind of go together. So I've got apple cider, apple picking, and cider donuts. I am dying to go to a orchard this year. There's one I just read about in Hendersonville called Jeter Farms. And Jeter Farms, yes, and not only do they have apple picking and cider donuts and apple cider, they have a hard cidery on premise. So I'm they're owned by former New York Yankee Derek Jeter, right?
As far as I know, no. But you know who's from the Midwest? That would be Derek Jeter.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
He went to school in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and my brother was his math teacher. My brother-in-law was his math teacher.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Yeah. That is my, I don't have, actually, that is not my claim to fame because I did not teach him math, but.
Yeah, but you're like 3 degrees away from Derek Jeter then, right?
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
2. Yeah.
I've known my brother-in-law since I was 12, so.
You practically have herpes, from what I hear. Rumor has it.
Rumor has it. Well, and Jay, so Jay, the reason I'm excited about this Jeter plays is because it sounds a lot like Blake's. Like it's that full.
It's the blakiest place around.
It is the blakiest place I've read about since moving south.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about it.
All right. Yeah. I every couple of years we probably go to an apple orchard once every 3 to 5 years. It's been a while. We haven't been. We usually go to Big Top, which is down the road from us a piece. It's like between Flat Rock and Saluda. I think it's got a Saluda or Tuxedo address. I don't know. It's somewhere around there, right around that area. I watched the previous fall episode we did, and I talked at length about it. So I'm not going to go crazy talking about it now. But they have the donuts and all that stuff, But they don't have hard cider, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, see, that takes this other one up a notch.
Yeah, I get you. I get what the draw is here.
Right, because I mean, while there will be lots of children at any orchard, apple orchard, there might be fewer like at the bar. So.
Sure, yeah, I get you there.
But there might not be because we're also in Asheville. And people take their children to the bars.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if they don't take their children, they take their dog. There's gonna be some sort of nuisance running around.
But I am looking forward to that, and I want a cider donut. I want a real cider donut. I haven't had one in ages.
All right.
So I'm gonna do that this year. So similar to that, though, I've got pumpkin picking on the list.
Yeah, I usually go. Now we've done that more often than the apple thing. We at least once every 2 years, I think we wind up going to. We go down to Hickory Nut Gap. That's right. Thank you. Emily's watching tonight, and she reminded me. Hickory Nut Gap Farm. We go down there. They have a pumpkin patch, and we usually take the fam, and we take our fall photos there, which our children hate. And when I say our children, they're all like fucking adults now, and they'd probably still be assholes about taking photos. I bet. God, like you think you've done them wrong to ask them to like put on a decent shirt and take a photo once a year.
Right. Right. Hey, now you got a whole bunch of grandchildren. You can do that too.
Can we just stand here for like a minute straight and take a fucking family photo without y'all acting like it's the end of the damn world? No?
Right.
Okay. Well, the longer you fuck around, the longer we're going to be here.
And see, that's the whole point, right? Like if you just stand there for a second, you'll be done. You won't have to do it again.
No, but then it's always like somebody's got to make a big stink out of it, like it's the end of the world. And then it's like, well, now we're going to be here all afternoon until we get a family photo. Act like you all like each other, for Christ's sake. We're trying to post this on Facebook.
Just for 1 minute. That's it. Just 1 minute.
We're trying to make our social media look like we're happy.
Exactly.
So
I would love to see. You should just post honest family Facebook photos, just like everybody yelling at each other.
The one person's like, like, all right, fuck it. That's the photo you get stuck with. We're putting that in the book. That's gonna be that. Everybody's gonna see that now.
That's the one. That's the one you're gonna have
12 years from now when you regret it. Well, too bad.
Exactly. You made this bed.
But we always go to the pumpkin patch. Well, sometimes we have gone to the apple orchard. It's either the apple orchard or the pumpkin patch for those photos in the fall. So if you go to the apple orchard and you see like a family all wearing red sweaters, like just steer clear of them. they're going to get in a fight because they're going to take the photos or something.
They're going through a thing. So here's a question related to pumpkin picking. How do you select a pumpkin for carving? Like, what are your idea? What's your spec for a carving pumpkin?
Probably size mostly. It's got to be about like 12 inches around, probably. Give or take 12 to 15 in that ballpark, and then maybe 10 inches tall, I guess.
All right.
Like I'm looking for a particular size, I guess. Like I want that shape. I guess I'm I don't know, like I gotta, and then I guess also, I don't know, like I don't mind one or two, because gourds get those like, I don't know what you call it, but it looks like, they've got like HPV or something on them,
Yeah, the little knobby things.
Yeah. Like you want at least one face of it to be clear enough to like, okay, I can get a face on this. You know what I mean? Like I don't care about the whole thing, but you want a space of about an 8-inch circle that you can, okay, I can make a face out of this. I'm a traditional guy who's like triangles for eyes and nose and then the and the goofy smile. Yeah, the crooked grin.
Right.
Mostly, that's usually what I do. I haven't mixed it up in a long time, and I'm not one of those people who like does the, some people do like the elaborate carvings, so at the end of the day it looks like Jack Nicholson or some shit. I don't care about that. Like, I'm just going for a traditional jack-o'-lantern. Like, I really am a traditionalist in that regard. Like, I just want my jack-o'-lantern to look like your stereotypical jack-o'-lantern, So yeah, I'm going for the pumpkin that also fits the same bill, just a
standard nice pumpkin, a good size standard pumpkin shaped pumpkin.
One year we did go crazy. We bought several. I don't remember if I buying this for the restaurant, maybe. I don't know. My wife sent me this is when I was working at Earth Fair. And my wife sent me to the grocery store, to get like a lot of like a variety. And I bought some weird, like artisanal ones, like some were pink and white and, green and shit like that, but if I'm just doing myself, it's going to be the brightest orange, the roundest round fucking pumpkin, like just typical standard run of the mill fucking, stereotypical pumpkin is what I want.
That's fair. I usually let the pumpkins lead me.
Oh, is that right?
I don't have anything in mind, but if I'm looking through pumpkins, whether I'm at a store, a pumpkin patch or whatever, I'll look, and whatever just attracts my attention, I will get that pumpkin and then I will figure out the carving that best suits that pumpkin.
I feel you. Hey, I will say this, a caveat to what I just said, a little bit of stem. I want some stem left on that thing.
Yes, I think a stem is critical.
They cut the stem too short. I'm probably going to pass it by.
Although that said, I learned a trick a few years ago to not cut, around the stem, but cut out the bottom of it. Because you could just set it over the candle.
I don't follow what you're saying exactly.
So instead of cutting out the stem, so you take off the stem and you put the candle inside the pumpkin. You cut off the little circle on the bottom of the pumpkin.
Oh, I got you.
And then you just set it over the candle.
You put the candle and then you put the pumpkin on it. Okay, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you don't have enough, if you find the perfect pumpkin, but it doesn't have enough stem, you can always do that trick.
I got you. I guess that's the way I see what you're saying, because I usually think about the stem as being a handle for the lid.
Me too.
But I also just like the way the stem, like it's an aesthetic thing too.
Yes.
For me. Like I want there to be some stem there. I mean, I will say, like, having said what I just said, like I know at least once I bought a pumpkin that was more tall than round. And that can lend itself to a different, type of face. And I have done some different faces in the past. I just got to where I like, you know what? I'm just a traditionalist. I'm just doing the regular old fucking like 3 triangles and a grin.
Yes.
I used to do ones with like evil eyes, like you know what I'm saying, like the
right
when I was younger. But now I'm like, fuck it. It's 3 triangles and a grin.
A few years ago, my favorite pumpkin that I think I've ever done, and I've had a hard time carving pumpkins since because I was so pleased with it. Was the giant spaghetti monster, right?
No.
I did not carve the giant spaghetti monster, but part of the giant spaghetti monster lore is the pirate fish, and it's a fish skeleton with it's got a little eye patch on. And I carved that.
I'm sorry. We need to stop for a second, digress, and explain what the pirate fish has to do with the spaghetti monster.
All right. So if you're not familiar with the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, which was created as kind of a takedown of religion in schools, like, protection of First Amendment, like, well, fine. If, kids can pray in school, well, they can also pray to a flying spaghetti monster. Right. So it was meant to be absurd.
Yeah.
But among the things that it said, because it's obviously it's not real, and they were just making up bullshit nonsense. And one of the things was that pirates,
not unlike everyone else,
right? Exactly, but that the decrease of pirates was directly responsible for global warming.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know. I don't know exactly why it's a pirate fish, other than like a lot of religions have the little fish symbol. But it was a pirate fish, and it's like the dead skeleton of a fish, with with an eye patch.
Okay, I never understood what the Lincoln was exactly, except for it was a pescatarian,
Pastafarian.
Pescatarian pastafarians.
Yes, the pescatarian's a real thing.
Oh, okay. I thought they believed that like you were predestined to eat fish or something.
No, and most of it's absurd and doesn't make sense, but that was kind of the point.
Yeah, well, obviously, yes. You know who should be down with Pastafarianism?
Dan Pesta.
That's who I was going to say.
Yeah, I got you there. With you. Totally with you. Hey, right. Now it's real spooky. Now you're in the dark, and it's
I know. I just happened to notice that. I was like, wow, it got dark quick, didn't it?
Real quick. I can still see some sky over your shoulder, but
a little bit. But it's kind of wooded back there. Yeah. Now I can sit with my back to the lake, and I wouldn't be backlit. Probably.
That's true. But at that point, you'd have to move, and it'd be a whole thing.
It'd be a whole ordeal. Yes.
It'd be a whole thing.
And I mean, at this point, we're mostly into this. Like we're,
Right. All right. Here's another thing for you.
List.
Leaf peeping. How do you feel about going to see some pretty colors on the leaves?
I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to drive somewhere, but I mean, I live in an area where they already happen. So do I like looking at leaves changing color? Yes. Am I going to drive somewhere specifically for that endeavor? No. Am I glad people do that? Because my wife works in the hospitality industry? Yes. Otherwise I could care less, but but yes, I'm looking forward to people leaf peeping this year. I actually think the leaf peeping is going to be prime this year, because we had this early cold snap here. We're going to see some beautiful fucking colors here in the next week or two. And you best, if you live in Charlotte or somewhere like that, get your ass up to the mountain area. And I would say, stop in at a local eatery and spend some money.
Exactly.
Best on tap while you're there.
Yes. Well, so in college, I had a friend who was from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
They have Uber, yes. And they have, the leaves up there are gorgeous. Like, that's where Michigan people go to see leaves. Because in the city, it's not that pretty.
Oh.
So, and it's stunningly gorgeous. It's beautiful. And, but my friend who had never really left the UP until he went to college, his first fall and Kalamazoo is actually much prettier than Detroit as far as leaves go, but still his first fall, he was like, what is with this? Is not, why is this ugly? Like, why is this not pretty? And he said, and I thought this made sense, that the leaves in the Upper Peninsula are like a perfect symphony, but in Kalamazoo, they were like a talent show. Like, it just wasn't that great.
You should totally come see the leaves in the mountains, Jay.
Yeah. So to your point about Charlotte or Atlanta, you get your you get your trees turning color, but because all the trees have been landscaped in, you don't get like that gorgeous, just natural symphony of colors.
The best thing you're gonna see really is the red dogwoods turn bright red. That's pretty. But other than that, like the kinds of trees that they plant in places aren't really. I mean, oaks turn late. Like they don't actually, the oaks don't lose their leaves until January, you know, like, so they're weird. And yeah, you're not going to get the full spectrum of things that you get. You know, it's hickories and maples that really give you the fucking bam, you know, like there's the pop, you know.
Right.
So yeah, that's what the mountains are good for, is, you know.
Well, we have a diverse ecosystem of trees, and they're all just doing a thing. So,
yep.
Bless you.
Thank you.
there was the season. So I do love some leaves. And I like that I live somewhere where that's a thing. Like I don't have to go anywhere.
Right.
I just have to look out my window. I'm like, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is like I don't have to go very far. I actually live on, you know, 6 acres of woods, so my dirt road, you know, in the fall, I'll take pictures just out on my road, like, look at this, it's beautiful. And then I also love the days when you wake up and it's just foggy as hell, and you got this sort of like Sleepy Hollow kind of thing going on, you know, and it looks like something out of some Frankenstein movie or something.
Yeah, like this morning was super foggy, and I got up and I looked out the window and I was like, whoa, look at that.
Yeah, I love that shit too. I love a good foggy morning. That's awesome to me.
Yes. All right, let's transition to a few food items.
All right.
Before we end this show. I mean, we still got a few minutes, so. So one of the things I like about fall is now we transition into soup season. Like you can't eat soup in the summer.
I mean, people do, but I don't. Like,
I'm not. Why would you?
I don't like soup unless it's cold and rainy. I really don't give a shit for it. You know, like that's
exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Those are the days when I come in, or if I'm sick. I cold and rainy, or I've got something wrong with me. If I've got something wrong with me, the soup is Tom Yum from a Thai place. That's my go-to. I'm sick soup. Okay.
Nice. Mine is wonton soup.
Okay.
So.
But if it's a cold, wet day and I'm just cold and I got to chill down to the bone and I really want to warm up, I mean, a good chili. Let's see. Oh gosh, you know, the Purple Onion. They get a Moroccan beef stew sometimes that I will say, oh my God, to die for. That's good stuff. Oh,
I love making chilies and stews in the. I don't eat them any other time, but I start making them like around football time. It's perfect for football day because you can stick it all in the crock pot like in the morning, and then it's just done when the game's over.
What's the Italian wedding soup? Pretty good soup. Tortilla soup. I actually make a variation. I don't know whether like my wife calls it a type of chili, but I actually say it's something else. But I make this soup, and it's I cook chorizo. And then I put like 3 or 4 types of beans in it, and then also white hominy. And I don't know, it doesn't have a name. I made it up. You know, it's like it's my own thing. It's my own thing. But
sounds tasty.
It is tasty. It's good on a cold day. Is what, you know. You make some cornbread to go with it, maybe. You know, throw a little sour cream on top of a big bowl of that with some cornbread. Yeah, you're talking. That's good. That's good. Warm you up type stuff. You know, I guess you could call it a chili, or you could call it a taco soup, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know. I don't really know what it is. It's like I said, it's new. It's made up.
With hominy, it almost has like a porridge sound to it. I
guess. I mean, I don't know. I'll make it sometime. Bring you some. See what you think.
All right.
You know,
I'll do that. And of course,
vegetable soup. I like that. You know,
I like just a good tomato. I don't even like tomatoes, but I like a tomato soup with a grilled cheese.
Oh yeah. That's the only time I like. If you don't have grilled cheese, then don't invite me for tomato soup. But if you have,
because it becomes the dip. Like,
yeah, exactly. You're eating the grilled cheese. You dip the sandwich in the grilled cheese. Yeah, it's delicious. I don't care
like a French dip.
It could be plain tomato soup, or it could be a tomato basil soup. Either way, I'm okay.
Sure.
Tomato
Yeah.
bisque, if you will. Those are all, as long as it's served with a grilled cheese sandwich, I'm okay with it.
I do love a good bisque of various types, though. Not usually seafood bisques, although I will, but like a butternut squash
Yeah,
bisque.
so a squash bisque is delicious this time of year, right? Like, and then also, I can go for clam chowder on a cold day too. I'll tell you, my favorite clam chowder I ever had jalapenos in it. It was like a white clam chowder, not Manhattan clam chowder, but like regular New England clam chowder, but it had some jalapenos in it, which kind of gave it a little pop, and I was like, damn.
Right.
I had that actually at the Salty Dog Cafe in Hilton Head, which you may have seen a T-shirt for here and there.
A few times, yes.
You'll run into people wearing a T-shirt for the Salty Dog Cafe here and there, and that's what I always remember is like I had the best clam chowder I ever had in my life at the Salty Dog.
Nice. It's good to know that those restaurants are good for something.
Yeah, they got a thing. It's not like people aren't just buying the shirt for nothing, hopefully. I mean, I think they are kind of like it's somewhat just to say, hey, I was at Hilton Head, and everybody knows you're supposed to go to Salty Dog, but
right.
But they do have good soup at the Salty Dog. If they have nothing else, I don't remember anything else about it except for good clam chowder that had jalapenos in it, and I was like, damn, this is something else.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I know we talked about this on the episode 2 years ago, but we can't talk about fall and not mention it, is pumpkin spice.
I love me some pumpkin spice. Trying to think, did I have anything yet? Oh, I had a latte so far. That's all I've had with pumpkin spice. I actually the other night I was at the Purple Onion and I was gonna get a pastry, and they didn't have any pumpkin pastries out yet. And so I went down the street I went down the street. Actually, I went down the street to buy beer, which is where I got all these beers that I had. The little beer store, and the beer store also has a couple of pastries sitting there in a case, and they had a carrot cake. And that's not exactly pumpkin spice, but it's not a far cry different.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the same spice notes.
Yeah, so I bought a slice of carrot cake that I enjoyed immensely, because that seemed fallish enough to me. So yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I've had so far, I actually went when I was doing my grocery shopping, like we do the online thing and the pickup.
Yeah.
I just typed in pumpkin to see what they had.
Right.
And they had, the Pepperidge Farm cinnamon swirl bread, just like the toast with cinnamon swirl.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not toast. You have to toast it to make it toast.
It's like raisin bread, but without raisins, right?
Correct. Yeah. And they had a pumpkin spice swirl bread.
Okay.
And I bought that, and I have since eaten the entire loaf.
Did you put cream cheese on it? I imagine.
No, I just toasted it up with some butter, and it's good to go. Although cream cheese would be delicious.
Cream cheese on it would be fucking excellent. I would eat the shit out of that.
Well, look for it next time you're at the grocery store.
I will do that, as a matter of fact. Now that you mentioned it, that's going to be a thing. Like, thank you for the extra 10 pounds, Laura.
You are quite welcome. I've tried to get it, and they keep saying they don't have it, and I'm sure they do. They just don't know where to look for it in the store. Entenmann's little donut holes, they have a pumpkin spice donut, the little donut hole ones.
Yeah.
But they keep not giving it to me. And I'm like, I know you have those in your store somewhere.
Oh, yeah. But they're over by the cheese. They're in like
that's exactly right. They're not where they think
shredded cheddar in a kiosk, and they just don't know that's where they're at, right?
Exactly. So, and one day, and then of course, we've talked about pumpkin spice beers and pumpkin beers with pumpkin spice, and we like those.
I like all the pumpkin things.
Too, I agree. I like all the pumpkin things.
I will eat and drink all of the pumpkin for the next 2 months, 3 months.
2 months. Well,
2 now, I guess. Yeah. I started a week or so ago. I was late in the game.
Well, sure. So from the equinox to Thanksgiving, right? Yeah. So that's like 2.5 months, give or take.
And I give it a little leeway, sometimes here and there between Thanksgiving and New Year's, but then it's competing with gingerbread.
Yeah.
So I'll alternate like gingerbread and pumpkin stuff between, those holidays. But anyway.
So I also bought from the store today hot cocoa and marshmallows.
Yeah, I saw that. And Toast did not think marshmallows were a thing, apparently.
Yeah, which is really funny. So my cat didn't. I tried to give my cat a marshmallow, and you're probably asking, why did you try to give your cat a marshmallow? Yeah. That's weird. But our old cat, Piglet, loved mini marshmallows. And you could actually throw them, and she'd play with them, and then she'd eat them. And I tried to do that with Toast, and she was like, why are you throwing things on the floor?
Like, that's just not hygienic.
It's not correct. So she had no interest in it. Yeah. But that's okay. More for me. She doesn't have to have them. But that feels like, and that's the thing that can carry you through the winter, right? Like hot chocolate. Yeah. I wouldn't have drank it in the summer, obviously, but from now until like the spring, I'm good.
Yeah, I would say, that's good. That's good through at least February.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, until it starts getting warm.
Right.
All right. What time we got? Oh, we got a couple more. Here's a couple.
What?
Fires.
Fires. Yeah. I mentioned bonfires earlier on. I got
bonfires, fireplaces.
Last year is still sitting in the yard.
Yes, because we keep threatening to come to your house to burn your Christmas tree.
It must be burned before next Christmas.
This Christmas?
This coming Christmas. Yes.
All right.
So I'll have another. I don't want 2 trees in the yard.
That's fair.
So we got to burn. We got to burn last year's Christmas tree, and also it's a good time to throw all the random pizza boxes I have, because you can't recycle pizza boxes because they're full of grease, but they're good for starting a fire. That's what they're good for.
Because they're full of grease.
They're full of grease. Yes, exactly. So I usually use the pizza boxes, and then also the paper filler that the Amazon boxes come with. That also is like a good fire starter, if you will. I save all that shit, and we're going to burn the Christmas tree, but it's got to happen between now and Christmas, clearly.
All right. I will make a commitment that sometime, it probably won't be until November, but we will come down and help you burn that Christmas tree.
Yeah. If I haven't done it before then, holler at me, say, hey, we're coming down to burn the Christmas tree. I'll be like, shit, yeah, we are. We're getting it out of my yard.
We can do a special Bill Has Opinions while we
should do one around the bonfire. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Well, and going with that, and you would live in not just a cabin, but like a cabin in the woods feels very fall.
Yeah. I mean, I don't live in a cabin. I live in a large house in the woods.
A large house in the woods.
But yes, I feel you. I guess, yeah. It does seem like every story about a cabin always takes place in like the fall, usually. I will also say, the fall, when I was talking earlier, I guess about going outside and you get that sniff in the air and you're like, wow, it's cold. It's football season. It also, so I grew up in a rural area and it was also hunting season, and I'm not a hunter, and I don't necessarily like, I don't know. I'm sort of either way about hunting. Like, I mean, if you're doing it, I mean, it's got its benefits, I suppose. I'm not one of those people who, I don't enjoy the idea of killing an animal, but I mean, clearly, yes, there are too many deer and they need to be cold or whatever. And at the same time, if you're going to eat them, whatever, it's fine. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, but I feel similarly.
I also don't think it's like makes you more of a man to do it. Like it's whatever. But my uncle was a big hunter, and he used to take me hunting with him when I was younger, and I never shot anything, But I like the idea. I guess I like being out in the woods in the fall.
Right.
That's it. I guess I just like being out in the woods when it's chilly out, because I love the woods, but in the summertime you go out in the woods for 5 seconds, you come back and you're covered in ticks.
Oh yeah, it's just buggy. It's buggy and
you're covered in ticks and mosquitoes. And it's not good. I don't like parasites, and I don't want to be, eaten alive by them.
Right.
But you go out in the fall and you can just enjoy the fucking woods. Like you just walk through the woods and you have a good time. Crunch, crunch, crunch. The dead leaves under your feet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I love. There's something I don't know about the fucking woods in the fall. Like I just love it. If you want to hunt, great. If you don't, whatever. But But yeah, and speaking of the bonfire, like last time you guys came over to our house, I think we wound up going outside. Well, I don't know if you did, but Matt and Jay, we all went outside and we were shooting like bows and arrows at the targets out back, just having a good
Right.
time. I need to buy some more arrows because I think people lost my arrows, but
That's what happens when you're in, sloped woods. They're like, I'm not going to get that.
Yeah,
That's not happening. Well, we have a cabin in the woods. We have a tiny house on a mountain in the woods. So, I'm looking forward to being able to go up there this season. So hopefully when I'm mended enough that I can hike, I can do that. And hopefully the leaves aren't gone by then. But here's one thing about a cabin in the woods, especially in this part of North Carolina. You don't have ticks and you don't have the mosquitoes, but you do have the spiders. And the spiders will start building webs like across walkways.
Oh my God, yeah. I've already run into that several, because my house, right now, we got 3 different kinds of orb weaver spiders in my yard, right? I got the big, scary looking, the yellow orb weaver,
Right? Yeah,
golden orb weaver, I think they're called. But they grow they're the size of your hand. They're not quite yet. They're like about this big right now. They'll by the end of the fall, they're going to be huge. These jokers, but they won't hurt you. And then you got these little ones. You got 2 different kinds of. Both of the little ones are spiky.
Yeah, they're my favorite. I love
tiny
those.
Orb weavers.
Spined Microthena is the actual name. That's like their official name.
They're 2 different shapes. There's one that's like an oval covered in spines, and then I've got one that's like a flying V guitar. Have you seen that?
Yeah. We have both of those up at. We have all 3 of those up at the tiny house.
That's what I got at my house. Like all 3 of those. The spiny ones build a slightly smaller web. They're comparative to the size of the spider, I suppose, right?
Smaller web, but stickier. I've noticed they're really sticky webs because they're the ones that will build right in our path and at face level.
Yes.
So you walk right into it, and then you walk the rest of the way like this.
Oh yeah. So my wife's actually smart about it. If she goes through walking the woods in the fall, she knows before she walks, she picks up a stick, and as she walks, she waves the stick around like this in front of her, and picks up any webs before she walks through them. I never think about it until I hit the first web.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm like, ah. And then I'm like, but sometimes I'm actually just out in the yard doing a thing and I don't think about it. And I walk between 2 trees and there's a web all over me now,
And they make the stickiest, thickest webs. And it's just like, and they're on you. I mean, the spiders won't hurt you. They're very, they're actually really helpful little spiders.
They're the most docile spiders ever. What's funny is I used to be scared to death of spiders when I was younger. And the older I get, the less I give a shit.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm aware now that there are only like 2 spiders in our area that are worth worrying about. And honest to God, we don't have that many brown recluses. It's only black widows, so you really got to worry about. And even those, they're slow. And here's the thing about black widows. Where they're going to be. Like, if you're moving a log or something in your yard, there might be black widows under it. Just be aware before you pick the thing up, and then and you smush them, and you're on with your day. Whatever, But any other spider, I'm the kind of person where if I catch a wolf spider, and I mean the wolf spiders are scary as fuck. Okay.
Oh yeah, I do not like them. No,
they're literally this big in North Carolina, right? But I'll catch them in the house, and I'll just go get a wine glass or something and catch them, and I'll take them outside and let them go,
Sure, yeah.
They're not hurting me. I don't know. They don't want to hurt me. They're just big and hairy and ugly.
Yeah, I don't like them, but I know they want. I don't want to be face to face with one.
Sure,
and sometimes we get them in the tiny house, and I'm like, no, this house is not big enough for you and me.
Right? No, I mean, yeah, because the size of a small dog, but. But once you get them out of your house, they're not going to hurt you. They're fine.
No, I agree with you. I used to be terrified, but I'm not anymore. So spiders seems like a good time to end this episode because we have reached the conclusion.
Yeah, we're at encore time now. Basically,
we are. So we do not have a mailbag or things that are extra. We're both living good lives and don't have anything to complain about, really.
Well,
so. But stay tuned. We probably will soon in the future.
I'll find things.
So why don't you take us away?
All right. If I can remember all this, let's see. Bill has opinions, engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless Laura agreed with them, in which case, I don't know, we both agree with them, and vice versa. Definitely not the opinions of Dan Pesta.
As far as we know, maybe.
As far as we know. I mean, maybe he agrees with everything we said. I mean, if he's a good guy, he would. But don't hold him accountable for our stuff, maybe he eats soup in the summertime. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, if so, that's it. We're not being friends anymore.
You're dead to me, Dan Pissa. Anyway, be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you say something about us or something, hashtag opinion gang, and we'll respond to it. You can email us if you want. You have to know our email addresses, which I'm not going to say here.
Well, you can definitely message us on the Facebooks or the Instagrams.
Any of those other things and ask us a question or give us a show idea or anything like that. We'll try to respond to it. If it's, we will. I promise we'll respond to it.
We will, because we're begging for your content. So
sure, yeah. Anyway, other than that, I guess join us next week at the same Bill time, same Bill channel, and we'll talk about something else.
We will, and I was actually just opening our calendar to see what it was. Oh, next week, because we're in spooky season next week.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking about some urban legends.
Oh, suburban legends?
Suburban, urban, rural, whatever you got.
Rural legends.
Rural legends. Actually, many of them are rural legends if you really think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's true. So we're going to make a big list of urban legends and try to scare each other, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. The hair on the back of my
neck. It won't be hard for me. I get scared easily. You see the vignette that you're in right now will be perfect for spooky season.
So. I won't be here next week. I'll be.
Well, you'll be here. You'll be on this show. You will just be located elsewhere.
It'd be great if I was in the dark, though.
Hopefully, you'll be here. That will be the goal. So we'll see if I am up to having people in my house. Okay. Mostly predicated on the fact whether or not I can wear pants. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
If I can wear pants, you can come over.
Look at this chef pants. Those are really comfortable.
Oh, yeah, that's what I need. Scrubs. I should have bought scrubs. I actually just bought a bunch, like a 3-pack of sweatpants. I'll be here tomorrow because I was looking at my jeans and I'm like, that's not happening.
It's
not happening.
I don't want no scrubs.
I don't know. Scrubs seem actually economically sound at the moment. Like you're getting rides with your friends.
Yeah,
it seems viable.
Hanging out the side of the ride.
Yeah,
trying to get somebody's digits. Yeah,
you're carpooling.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems logical. Yeah. So, all right, that's it for our show. I think we should end it now. All right, we will see you all in a week. All right, bye, everybody.